Hey guys, Adrenaline Junkie here. How's it going? I'm at the first inaugural dealer conference for Segway Powersports Canada today. Actually, not just today, for a few days. They've been kind enough to invite me here to check out specifically that machine that's behind me there. That machine right there is the Segway Villain Hybrid. This is the first hybrid side-by-side on the market. And you're looking at the first Segway Villain Hybrid in North America right here. This is the first one that's landed. So this is a pretty revolutionary machine, being the first of its kind. Hopefully it stirs up the waters and shakes things up. If you've already watched my previous video, you'll see that we test drove a Segway Villain gas model and it worked quite well. We were really happy with it and the performance. So I'm really interested to see what this hybrid model has to offer. There's a couple really cool features about it. If you pay attention here and look at the hybrid drivetrain, you'll see something's missing. Look at the other side, it's not hiding here either. You'll notice there's no CVT belt case there. That means this machine here, it's not powered by a rubber band. This is a direct drive unit, which should be really cool. I can't wait to see what the power delivery is like, because on the previous machine, the Villain Gasser, it is a regular CVT type setup, and I wasn't completely impressed with the clutching out of the box, which is understandable because I mean there's always growing pains. But from what I've heard, and I've talked to a few people, that they have addressed the clutching issues in the newer production models, and that should all be improved. But this one shouldn't have those clutching issues, not belt related at least. The rest of this machine is pretty similar to the Segway Villain gas model, but it's the powertrain, the drivetrain, the power plant itself that is the revolutionary part here. You'll hear a lot of people online comparing these specifically to like a Can-Am Maverick X3 with the way the suspension geometry is laid out and the way the suspension looks. And you know what? In my books, that's not a bad thing. I think that's actually pretty cool. They're comparing it to a really good machine, and if it can compete with that machine, then Segway has brought something awesome to the table here, and they're pushing the bar as far as technology is concerned. So this is just supposed to be a little teaser video for you guys here. We're gonna dive into this thing a little bit more over the next few days, and hopefully we'll also get a chance to rip around in it and I can get a feel for how this machine works. I'm hoping I'm gonna get to be one of the first people to abuse this thing and take it out on the trail. So as you guys can see, the weather is terrible. This event was unfortunately plagued with some absolutely horrible weather in the form of rain, but that doesn't matter. That's not gonna slow us down. These are all terrain vehicles, and that means you get to use them rain or shine. And that means we can show them off rain or shine. I've ridden in much worse conditions, so I'm sure I can film some video here. We're gonna go over some of the drivetrain components on this machine because that's the key feature we're gonna be selling here. We're gonna be paying attention to the hybrid drivetrain, the engine, and all the components around it. That's the big variation between this machine and the non-hybrid model. If you want to see more specifics like the suspension, the interior, stuff like that, check out my previous video on this machine on the 1000 gas edition, and it'll show you all the suspension, the fit and finish, all of that. And you can also look at how that machine performs suspension-wise and in other areas equipped in its 1000cc form. Here, we're gonna focus on the hybrid aspect of things. So let's start with the power plant. Segway Powersports describes this as a parallel twin-cylinder, 4-stroke, 8-valve dual overhead cam engine, which delivers maximum electric motor power of approximately 196 horsepower and 250 Newton meters, which equals about 186 foot-pounds. They market that this machine provides you with instantaneous torque, and I'm assuming that's based on the fact that we're dealing with electric motors here. A really neat feature about this hybrid is that it's actually fully electric. Yes, it has a combustion engine, but the main point of that combustion engine is to add what they call a range extender EV mode. So essentially what happens is the range extender is always working. It gives you two different modes. It gives you an S gear with a peak power that the electric motor can reach around 144 kilowatts, and in the D gear it can reach 100 kilowatts. The combustion engine in the Villain is essentially working to power a generator, which is funneling that energy into the power cells. The power cells are discharging into the electric motors, providing you with the drive. I'm assuming that has a lot to do with why they didn't run a CVT setup here. This machine is making a lot of torque and a lot of power, and it's probably also a little bit heavier than the machines we're used to in the non-hybrid form due to the extra weight of the power cells and the generator and all of that. With that being said, they've eliminated what would be considered the Achilles heel of a lot of bigger, heavier, more powerful side-by-sides on the market today. And that's the rubber CVT belt that transmits all the power from the engine into the transmission. With all that in mind, Segway Powersports still claims that this machine provides unbeatable power-to-weight ratios and delivers lightning-fast acceleration. Now, the villain can also switch between two modes, REEV mode or EV mode. EV being full electric vehicle mode. REEV being the mode I just explained, range extender electric vehicle mode. When the electric power cells are at 50% or higher capacity, the vehicle can function in a full electric mode with the combustion engine off, which completely gets rid of emissions if you want to use the vehicle inside, for example, or gets rid of noise if you need to be stealthy. Keep in mind that the information I'm providing you with here is what I found online on the Segway website and other sources. By no means am I affiliated with Segway Powersports, and the information I'm passing along is simply secondhand in my interpretation of what I've read. Aside from the industry first and completely proprietary drivetrain and powertrain system that you see in this machine, Segway has also claimed that they've developed quite an advanced cooling system for this setup. Segway Powersports is boasting a triple cooling system. It features an independent cooling system for both the engine as well as the electric drive motor. It runs a double oil column piston cooling system and water oil heat exchange system that provides the highest cooling performance, whether you're riding in Death Valley, according to them, or the beaches of Baja. I know a lot of people are also questioning and are concerned about the submersibility of a vehicle like this. A lot of us don't ride in dry climates. We love riding in the rain, in the wet, in the snow, and in deep mud. I'm assuming Segway has prepared us for that, but it's one of those things that we're just going to have to test and see how things go with time. Also, keep in mind that the machine you're looking at here is still considered a prototype, not a full production scale model. So there will be variances on this machine. You're seeing that there might be stuff like hoses that aren't completely tied out of the way, or connectors that may not look completely sealed, silicone in areas that may not look like it's applied very nicely. You have to assume that these things will all be addressed in the mass production models, as they are still testing, developing, researching, and trying to perfect this design for when it does get released to the masses. The 1000cc 4-stroke twin-cylinder engine is mated to a PMSM, permanent magnet synchronous motor system, and that is the electric drive motor that does provide power to this unit. Segway Powersports lists a dry weight of 2,247 pounds for the 72-inch model, or 2,181 pounds for the 64-inch model. As I mentioned earlier, this is just supposed to be a little bit of a teaser. The true test will come when I get a chance to really thrash on this machine in real life. I can't wait to try it, I can't wait for the experience. I love trying new machines, and this one's going to offer some features we've never seen before in a side-by-side. It's going to be awesome to see what the power feels like, to see how responsive the machine is, and to see how it performs in conditions in comparison to other machines that we're already used to. So take all this information with a grain of salt. None of this is set in stone yet. I'm sure a lot will change as they perfect this machine and as units start to hit the masses. This is still a prototype, like I said, so don't be too harsh on certain judgments and the fine intricacies of this machine. I'm sure there's still a lot in the works from Segway Powersports, and regardless of how things work out, this is definitely going to cause a ripple in this industry, and it's going to shake things up. When manufacturers compete, the consumer always wins. There's nothing better than competition in the market because one company is always pushing the limits of the others. You know this is going to start a competition, and you know the other manufacturers probably have something under their sleeves as well. It's cool to see that Segway is the first one to market with a machine like this, and they also offer a hybrid ATV that will be hitting the market. You can check out videos that I've posted, the 1000cc Villain like I mentioned earlier, and you can also see some cool footage of the Segway Snarler ATV in the 570 form. The 570 Snarler will also be offered in a hybrid model in the time to come. So that's going to be another cool machine to check out and get some seat time on. I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you check out some of the other content. I'll have a lot more Segway content coming your way, hopefully, as well as other ride videos like you guys are used to from the channel. Make sure you leave some comments in the comments section of this video and let us know what you think about this machine or the future of hybrid or electric vehicles in the off-road industry. Are you excited about this? Do Do you think it's a waste of time? What are your thoughts? Let's get this conversation going. It's going to be interesting to see everyone's angle on this. As always, thanks for watching. Make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, follow us on Instagram and on Facebook, and ride safe out there. See you in the next video.